So Jesus' followers seem to keep increasing until he has thousands following him. And he can't seem to get away. So he decides we need to go someplace else. So he takes his disciples and they take a 12-hour walk from Galilee, where all those people were, to the district of Tyre and Sidon. Now, what's there? It's a Gentile district. The Jewish people aren't there. So why did he go there? Well, it's on the Mediterranean Sea. Those are two Phoenician ports that were there in what's now southern Lebanon. And he was going there because a lot of people would come to those ports. The Phoenicians had a dominant structure of ports all over the Mediterranean, and they were really the leaders in commerce at that time. But people would come there, and they'd probably stay because it was like a resort. It's the beach. And Jesus knew that nobody's going to follow him there, and he could get some peace and quiet and maybe sit on the beach, build a castle, who knows, Just relax. And then here comes this lady. Now you got to picture him on the beach. And she comes and she yells, "Son of David, have mercy on me. Have mercy." And his disciples are saying, let her go. Let her, No, she keeps persisting. Now, right there is something special. Because in those days, a woman wasn't supposed to talk to a man outside of the home. That was their rules. And so she's really taking a chance here. I don't know how she knew that was Jesus. Maybe she stopped and talked to one of the disciples. And he says, "That's a guy named Jesus. You've heard about him. He's a prophet. He's a healer." A healer. I need him. He's the son of David. So she shouts. And finally, Jesus says, "Okay, let's go. Let's have this conversation," right? Even though she's not supposed to. Let's do it. Jesus being Jesus. And then this weird exchange comes. He says, I came for the lost house of Israel, the people, the Jews. That's who I came for. And then he says, if you can believe it, he says, we didn't come to take the food from the children and throw it to the dogs. What does that mean? No, let's think about it. All right. We're going to take a little imagination and a little history here and try to figure this out. All right? So first of all, in the old Greek Bible, before it was translated to the Latin, there was two words for dogs. One, and I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but the first word is for what we call strays, ones that run around, eat garbage, and they don't have an owner, strays. The other is for pets. That's the one he uses. Kind of a lap dog or an emotional support dog thing that we would call nowadays. That's the word he uses. But you see, the Jewish people, the history in the Bible and all that, they didn't have pets. They didn't have pets. Matter of fact, dogs are considered unclean. So why did he say this word? Well, here's where your imagination comes in. Remember that port where its people come from all over? Well, there were probably Hellenists there. And at that time, history tells us the Hellenists had pets. And they had pet dogs. So maybe the Canaanite lady said, I want one of those. I'd like to have one of those. And you know how pets are. If you have a pet, a lot of you have dogs, and you love them, and they're part of your family. And that's what happens when you have a pet. And maybe, just maybe, she was walking her dog on the beach. Maybe. something different. But if you go to any beach in the United States anyways, in the morning or the evening, people are walking on the beach. They go to relax. They go to get out. She was probably getting away from the daughter who was demonized. And she took her dog. That's how I see it. So when she approached Jesus, maybe, just maybe, Jesus pet the dog. Maybe the dog sat on his lap. Maybe. Jesus being Jesus, just like any other person would, today or then. That changes the whole conversation, doesn't it? Because he says, I'm not here to feed the dogs, your dog, a metaphor for the people. And the lady bounces right back with another metaphor. Hey, even the dog's my dog, gets the scraps that fall from the table. It's a different whole story then. She sees him differently. He sees her differently. He wouldn't call somebody a dog. He wouldn't do it. But he might refer to it. And Matthew, I don't know. Maybe they're not used to writing about dogs. Maybe they don't know anything about pets. So maybe that just got a little confusing. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, what does that mean for you and I? What does this conversation mean for you and I? Well, first of all, it tells us that sometimes when the world gets rushed and everything gets busy, we need a vacation. We need time to get away. Even Jesus took time to go and be quiet and rejuvenate and relax. We have to have that in our lives, at times when we get away. But the other thing that he says here is really what I think the real important message is. He doesn't care who comes to him, in the sense, I don't care what country they come from. I don't care what religion they belong to. I don't care if they're sinners. I don't care what political party they belong to. I don't care if they're rich. I don't care if they're poor. Come to me. And yeah, I will meet you there. I'll find out about you. We'll see about your faith. We'll talk. We'll be friends. Our whole relationship will be different if you just come to me. And you know, you and I probably know somebody that spiritually has fallen off a cliff. And maybe it's one of you. But if it is somebody you know, somehow, some way, we've got to get them here. In some way. I think there's a real powerful prayer in this gospel. Because in Matthew's gospel, 6 times this happens. Somebody shouts out, Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me, or give me mercy, or help me, or whatever. A blind man, a beggar, this lady. 6 times in his gospel, somebody shouts out. I think it's a powerful prayer. One that you and I can use anytime we want. And we could teach other people the prayer. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me. Help me. Be my friend. Get to know me. I'll get to know you. I think it's important that we understand that Jesus is waiting for us. He sees us. He knows us. But he's waiting for us to come here, no matter what, no matter where we come from. Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on us.